Wait till you see what the governor of North Carolina did to block school choice. We predict impeachment's going to happen. Listen to this. Everybody knows what school choice is, right? You either go to public school or you have a choice to send your kids to private school. And the reason why that's important is a lot of the public schools aren't that good. Your taxes are paying for the public school. You ought to have the right to have some of those taxes back and contribute them towards a private school. Now, in North Carolina, school choice, which is what I'm talking about, is so popular that the overwhelming majority of the people that live there want it. And the legislature, both sides, both houses of the legislature in North Carolina, are so much in favor of it that they just passed a school choice bill a couple days ago. And they passed it so overwhelmingly that even if the governor vetoed it, they could override his veto. In other words, they've got everybody on board. So they passed a school choice bill. And this governor, who I predict is on his way to being impeached for what I'm going to tell you he just did. This guy's name is Roy Cooper. He's declared a state emergency in North Carolina like he has the power to do under the North Carolina Constitution in case of flooding or a hurricane, to override everything to save lives. He declared a national emergency to block the legislature from passing school choice and prevent them from overriding his veto. So in other words, the state wants it, the legislators want it, but the teachers union came out against it. So what did he do? Well, they give him a lot of money. So he declared a state of emergency, which according to every constitutional scholar around the country and North Carolina, this is illegal. And here's the irony. Roy Cooper, who vetoed school choice, who's against private schools, go ahead, Will. Ask me where Roy Cooper's kids went to school.
Private school.
Bingo.
It's good for my kids, but not for yours. That's
Is that,
that's a typical liberal thing.
Is that amazing hypocrisy?
Oh, 100%. 100%. But again, you know what? It's the left. They've always wanted people to be dumbed down, and I'm gonna have to bring racism into this because this is what they did to prevent black people from being successful as much as possible. The left, and it's always been the left, did not want black people, and even women of all colors. They didn't want black people specifically and women from being able to read, from becoming educated, because then once they be able to read and educated, then they would understand their rights. And as long as you weren't able to read and understand your rights, they could prevent you from being successful. It's the same thing happening now. They want to make sure that there's a future for their children and all the other kids. They need to be servants to their children. That's the liberal mindset.
Well, I predict right now on our national platform that probably 500,000 people are going to see by the time this is released everywhere. He's going to get impeached over this. Because when it comes out that he took the emergency powers of the Constitution intended to protect North Carolinians from a hurricane, right, and flooding and the roads being closed and the power being off, and used it to block legislation that was overwhelmingly being supported by both houses and the majority of the population.
That's crazy.
And on top of that, he says it's going to destroy public schools. But my kids go to private schools, so screw you.
Yeah.
In other words, this is for thee, but not for me. He ain't going to be governor forever because of this. Don't you agree?
Maybe he was saying this is for they and them, but not for me.
Yeah, but that doesn't rhyme as well.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.